Yeah, so as you can see, I've pinched a wee bit of my assignment down here when I drew it up for you guys. And I've drawn a P line around each one of these members on the truss. Not quite sure why there's different colours there, but I've copied that P line up to above, and I've also copied an outline of the slab, the concrete slab. So there's the outline of the concrete slab, and there's my truss up the top there. I think I'll delete some of these bits and pieces that are in the road. Now, there are a number of problems that will emerge as you're drawing this up. And I'm, once again, more than happy for you to solve these problems yourself. For example, this member here does not fit perfectly into place. You can see there's a small gap. See that? You didn't know that there was a small gap there. That's because the angle that that comes up at isn't perfectly at 90 degrees. It's pretty damn close. It's probably 90 point something something 0 something degrees. It's not quite perfect. One of the students worked it out as being 1 or 2 mils out. A builder would probably laugh at you if you said that, because 1 mil in the building trade with timber is nothing. But don't worry about the finer points like that. Just make it work, okay? And the other thing is that the placement, this is a model that we're creating, but we're really trying to create something that gives the client an idea of what this is going to look like, okay? Now I will be looking at some things. I'll be testing to see that your plate is the same size as you've put it in your quantities table on assignment 3. And I'll be testing that you've drawn things within reason to the right size, if I suspect they haven't been. But otherwise, this part of it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. I just am offering 3 marks for pretty much drawing up what I'm about to draw up today. Okay? Where I am looking for perfection is when you start drawing up section 1 and section 2 and your details. Okay? The 2D drawings. So I've drawn a P line around each one of these members, and I've moved it to the top of the page over here. The other thing I've done is I've imported these 3 members here. Now, a couple of weeks back, if you review some of the movie files, you'll see that I said that on the assignment, under Moodle, on the assignment is drawings called members. Now, it's pretty much just that drawing you can see there, the 3 members, and I've given them a name for each one. Now, I will allow you to copy paste that into your drawing, okay? It does leave a footprint, but I know what that footprint's called, and I will know that you didn't copy it from someone else's drawing. So I want you to use them. It'll help you in drawing up your section views, but more than anything, it's going to help you with what I'm about to show you, okay? So you will need them. So let's go ahead and start our 3D drawing. So first of all, we have a concrete slab here, okay? But before we start doing anything with that, on the right hand side here, you'll see my little arrow here. If I right click on that blank space, you can also do it on the left hand side, and I go to AutoCAD, you'll notice that there's all these things that we don't actually use. So here's you guys, when I say guys and girls, here's you people, students, all thinking, hey, I know everything about AutoCAD. We're using all the functions, everything. That's all you're using, the ones that are ticked there at the moment, right? So there's a lot more to it, and there's heaps that I don't know as well. but I'm giving you as much as I think you need at this point. We need to click one more on. Didn't sound right. And that is modelling. That one there. So I'll do that, and you'll notice that when I do it, an icon box will appear. And there it is over here. Now, each one of these things is a way of drawing up different things in modelling. Once again, I'm not going to take you through absolutely everything here, but there is one called extrude that you'll use all the time. There's also one called 3D rotate, where you rotate things. And there's one called subtract. So if you're going to put your holes in the plate or something like that, you can actually put a small cylinder in there and go subtract, and it makes a hole where the cylinder went in. I'll try and show you that as well. It's pretty cool. Oh, spoiler alert, this is fairly cool. This is a lot more cooler than a lot of other things you're going to be doing at Unitec. In my time as a student, I didn't used to think anything was cool until somebody did a test on some steel where we compressed it to see how much compression it would take. And then the stupid lecturer left the room and we all decided to do it ourselves. And one of those pieces of steel shot across the lab, missed about 4 students and embedded itself about 1.5 inches into the wall. That was my most exciting moment as a student. Could have killed any of us. Don't try that, by the way, if you're looking at the camera. Yeah. But this here could well be the second most exciting thing that I've ever done, and that is teaching you guys modelling. And because it's exciting, you're probably going to be spending too much time on it. So my spoiler alert is don't. It is only worth 5 marks. Do what you can, and if you have spare time, and you're not like me and you don't have a life, then put some more time into it. So, we have now an icon there with a whole lot of different commands, and I'm going to keep using that. You can also type the commands if you want to as well. A lot of students like to pick this up and put it on the side over here, or on another window altogether, on the other monitor, sorry. I'll keep it here so you can see what I'm doing. So, if you remember back to with Ingrid or me, depending on who you had as your CAD lecturer, on your first week we gave you a little bit of 3D. Probably don't remember that, I'm not sure. We looked at the view, we rotated something, we looked at what it looked like from the top to the bottom. Some of you cheated and hit this one thing over here and started whipping it around like you knew exactly what you were doing, and others were using that and ended up underneath the damn thing. So they were drawing the wrong thing altogether. Instead of the plan view, they are showing the bottom view. How shall I put it? Until you get really good at 3D, don't use this. Now, I know when I tell students don't, they do, because you guys are all engineers and you like Nero, your fiddle or Rome's burning, but you can kind of lose your drawing. I had a degree student email me absolutely panicking the other day. I've just done my whole model and I've lost it. And I said, what do you mean you've lost it? He said, well, I was using the box in the top corner and I clicked on something and then I went zoom extents and I can't find it. What do I do? Of course, it's always my fault. First of all, you don't do what I said and use the box in the top right hand corner. Secondly, 3D is like you've suddenly been put in space. Everything is kind of like in all directions limitless. So what he's done is he put a bit of space junk 50 million miles away. So when he went zoom extents, there was the space junk and there was this 3D model. But in 2D, you can